All right, guys, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed diving deeper into the decentralized financial ecosystem by yourself. I hope I sparked your enthusiasm and that you also now want to dive deeper into the rabbit hole of decentralized finance together with me, together with us. Again, if there's questions, if you have any cool new projects that you see you want to discuss, drop it in the forum and we can talk about it together. Right now, the next topic. So we just covered DeFi versus CeFi and traditional finance. Now we're going to talk about the origins of DeFi and the future of decentralized finance. Before we go deeper in the origins and the future, let's establish very well the difference between DeFi and centralized finance, traditional finance, or fintech. Because maybe when you were doing your research, you were thinking to yourself, why do we need decentralized finance? What's the difference from fintech? Well, I've written it out here for you. So decentralized finance is basically trust minimized software where we minimize the trust as much as possible. In fintech, traditional finance or CeFi, there is bureaucracy and permission software that is pressed upon us and it's not controlled by multiple parties, but mostly by one parties or by gatekeepers. So to formalize this, the settlement layer for fintech, traditional finance or CeFi is not code. The source of truth is bureaucracy, is a bureaucrat somewhere. So in banks or with your fiat and with your euros, your dollars, your pesos or your Chinese yen, whatever you're using, at the end of the day, there's a bureaucrat somewhere that's deciding what your purchasing power will be, what the inflation rate will be, etc., etc. In decentralized finance, all these metrics are embedded and immutable embedded in code. So there is, in centralized finance, there's no cryptographically guaranteed immutability of your transactions. And this is an important concept to understand. If I do an action or if I interact with a centralized financial system, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that the money that I put in there or the amount of value that I input, I will get back or I still have possession of. And in decentralized finance, the main difference is that in DeFi, there is no bureaucratic or technology gatekeeper between the builder and the idea, or between the person that's interacting with the decentralized financial application. But it's also important to understand that there's also no gatekeeper between the builder and the idea, which means that the reason of this whole DeFi ecosystem exploding is because there's no gatekeepers. Everybody can deploy a decentralized financial application. Everybody can start playing around, and eventually through competition and community, the most value-added decentralized financial applications will surface and will gain community support. Also, instead of where in centralized finance there's no cryptographic guaranteed immutability of your transaction, the execution of the critical logic is secure as it happens in decentralized finance. So when you start interacting, the security happens. The execution of critical logic is secure as it happens. The focal point is not performance of like the whole CeFi system or DeFi system, because that's also a comment that people make, like, oh, in centralized finance it's so much faster. Well, that's not completely true. Try to send money overseas. Try to send some money. Right now I'm in the Philippines. I have a lot of issues when I want to send money to my friends or when I need to receive money from my clients. They're all overseas. I have so much issues, right? So the focal point is not performance, but it's trust. We're striving towards a zero trust financial system. Okay, now let's dive deeper into the origins of this whole decentralized financial ecosystem. Most of the innovation right now is happening on the Ethereum blockchain. But as said before, I believe in a multi-blockchain universe where we will go to, that a lot of different ecosystems are working all together and strengthening the open financial system. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's just on one blockchain. I'm not an Ethereum maximalist or any blockchain maximalist. I'm blockchain agnostic. I'm a open finance maximalist, right? I'm a free finance maximalist. So you can think of Ethereum right now with the tech stack and the decentralized financial tech stack that it's enabling us to build on. You can see it as a printing press for open financial applications. So as you can see it as internet tools, created tools for creators. Ethereum is doing the same thing by enabling us as creators to build new financial services on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And I see Ethereum as the global economic computer or the global economic ledger. And I see that's the first version. I believe in a future where we will see multiple economic computers all working together. So it's a distributed network that will be even more distributed throughout maybe different consensus algorithms, right? Okay, so let's what did actually bring about? What happened? Well, decentralized finance made it so that everybody with an internet connection is now able to interact with a vast variety of financial services that will before only accessible to the super rich. Right now, a small farmer can interact with the same tools that a rich Western guy like myself in Europe had. And here in the Philippines, a person with less purchasing power, less economical power, can also interact with the same tools that I interact with. The only thing that he needs is internet connection and knowledge about DeFi. And that's what we're trying to spread. So the digital financial stack, so the digital financial ecosystem, now consists of a couple of important building blocks. There's decentralized exchanges, there's decentralized stablecoins, decentralized money markets, decentralized synthetics, and decentralized insurance. These topics will be covered one by one in a later course. So now let's take a look at this really cool illustration of how DeFi exploded on top of the Ethereum blockchain. We can go for that in a link in the description below, so you can also explore that and play around with that by yourself. But basically what we can see here is the evolution of the DeFi platforms. We can see this is a snapshot of the 26th of February 2020, where we can see the different the biggest platforms in the DeFi ecosystem that this tool got all the data from the blockchain. So all the data in this DeFi ecosystem is all inspectable. And that's the beauty of the system. We can all see what's happening. We can all inspect all the different money flows. There's no secrecy anymore. We can all see what's going on there. If we go to the centralized financial system, around this time, it was there was some news coming out that some of the richer people that were the closest to the printing press were getting a free lunch. So basically what happened is that one of the richest persons in France got money basically from the central bank, got like a big tax cut, where we as hard workers, we get our salary in fiat, and we don't get those amounts of money. Like the rich in this crony capitalist system get richer, the poor get poorer. And that's what's happening right now. And if I were you, I would try to disconnect myself from that system. And DeFi gives you an opportunity to look at an alternative system where you can be in control of your own money, you can inspect everything that's going on, and you can determine for yourself if you want to interact with it or not. So I'll go to DeFi Pulse. If I go to this website, we can go to it together and explore. So let's see. So this is the website I was talking about, where we can see here, it's loading up. Okay, this website I was talking about, where we can see basically the history. We can take a snapshot in time, and we can see all the different protocols. So we can see the number of Ethereum, which is the base layer currency for most of the DeFi ecosystem. And we can see the different platforms right now. We can see the number of transactions that are happening and occurring right now in DeFi. Uniswap has a lot, and we can see the number of unique addresses that are connected to these different DeFi applications. What I found interesting to see, if we go back to the start, it started in the 11th of January in 2018. We can see that then we only had MakerDAO, single collateralized DAI. We had Augur, and we already had a Compound, but these amounts were really, really small. But as I explained before, MakerDAO is one of the main building blocks, and on top of that, we will get multiple building blocks being built. And right now, you can see Augur, also here was being built, and then a Compound, etc. And that's the foundation for a lot of different services to emerge, to spring up. So you can see here again, Augur, and if we go now to this stage, there was a whole explosion of different DeFi applications. All right, so let's go back. Okay. So if we take that in perspective, right? So I showed you just the data from the evolution of DeFi since November 2018. The same company actually made a beautiful illustration that you can also find in the description below of all the different DeFi protocols and their transaction streams plotted out and displayed. Again, an abstraction layer above the complexity of the Bitcoin ledger. And you can see here the evolution of internet in the United States. See here, you see you see the internet starting, and there's like 2 hubs created and all connected, and then later it's all interconnected with each other. And I see a future, the origins will be the first building blocks that are built on DeFi, like MakerDAO, and it's basically a decentralized money market. Then we get a Compound, which is another abstraction layer above that. It makes it more easier for people to interact with that. Then we get a decentralized betting market, Augur, and then the whole space explodes with decentralized exchanges and much more cooler stuff. I can see this also happening on other chains, where right now we see this stack happening and forming for Ether. I also see this stack forming and being created on other decentralized ecosystems, where we will get a multi-chain society of different financial systems that are all interacting with each other in a transparent and immutable way, striving towards the main goal that we shouldn't lose at sight. That's open finance, trustless finance. So, and you know, if we look into the future of DeFi and into these like different building blocks, it's kind of insane how much and how fast everything is going. The pace of innovation DeFi is really, really incredible. And you know, a decentralized financial system, the main goal, as again said, in a decentralized financial system, a farmer in a developed country would have the same level of access as a top trader at a US financial firm. But, you know, there is major risks also involved in interacting with DeFi, because there is a high return, but that means that there's also some risk involved in that. So that's what we will be exploring in our next course. If you have ideas or things you want to add on the origins and origination of DeFi, or maybe if you disagree with me that we're going to get a multi-chain fallacy, maybe you believe that we will only stay on one chain, I would love to discuss this topic with you together in the forum. And also share your view on the future of decentralized finance with me. Then I will discuss that with you, and I'm looking forward to all your inputs.